Welcome in. We waited 5 years for this. We are at the Ripken studios. Nasty Nestor Aparicio, WNST and WNSTV. Alan McCallum with us, Ray Bachman, and we welcome Cal Ripken on the eve of Cooperstown. You tired of this yet? I mean, I've only known you 15 years, and all you do is talk to the media. You used to play baseball.
It seems like it, but no. The process, it's a extended celebration. Put it that way. When you get the call in January, it starts the whole hoopla, and there is a celebratory role that everyone plays, and it's all great. It's all fun. But at some point, you want to say, okay, let's get to the main event, and I think we're getting to that point right now.
Well, because I've interviewed you so many times through the years, I thought the main event for us at WNST, being a fan station and a fan's place, is I got a kid here from Southwest Baltimore who went to every game 33rd Street. I'm from East Baltimore and Dundalk. Alan grew up out on the West Side, and we were all admirers and fans, and I thought this would be a perfect time to have you take questions from a bunch of kids who were fans who grew up to run a radio station and do TV out on the internet and stuff. So I got Alan here, who's, I don't think you've ever interviewed Cal, have you?
I've been waiting to do this for 12 years.
Well, there you go. So here we are.
Cal, welcome, or thank you. It's a pleasure. Everybody talks about the streak, and when Cal Ripken's name comes up, he's the Iron Man. But one of 8 players in the history of the game with 3,000 hits and 400 home runs. Little known fact, the only middle infielder to do it in the history of the game. Can you talk about what that means to you, to be in that sort of echelon of players?
Well, I mean, first of all, when you get 3,000 hits, you have to get a lot of hits over a long period of time. And so, and I think the goal when I came to the big leagues, was to get here, to establish yourself here, and have a long career. I mean, you want to fulfill that sort of dream. And so, I guess 3,000 hits, 400 home runs, it means you're around for a little while. But I don't see myself totally identified as a streak. I thought I was a pretty good player defensively. I had a kind of a rare combination for a middle infielder to have a little power, but also hit for an average from time to time. But so you have the offensive side and you got the defensive side, and it seemed to all come together at once. So as I said many times, I don't mind being remembered for the streak. I think it's cool just to be remembered at all. But being a good player and being able to contribute on a day-in and day-out basis was really what was important to me.
Were you a guy that was earmarked to be another position? I mean, it was just so bizarre, this big guy playing shortstop. I mean, you had to be under 6 feet. You had to steal bases, all of that stuff. And Earl Weaver broke that mold. And Earl Weaver said, it's okay that we can have a bigger shortstop, put him in the middle of the order.
Well, he had to be nicknamed Scooter or Pee-wee too. But, I think the athletes have gotten bigger and stronger. And Earl saw me as a young kid taking ground balls around the ballpark. He thought I had soft hands. I did get my size later on. I was as a freshman in high school, which my son reminds me all the time. He's not a freshman yet, and he was bigger than I was. I was 5'7", 128, and I remember that because you had to go through a weigh-in period and kind of be a measurement, kind of as sort of.
You turned sideways and they missed you.
I know. And so that I graduated even at 6'2", 180, so I was still on the thin side, and I almost grew 3 more inches and put on a few more pounds, and I filled out. So learning how to play the position, I was a shortstop way back when, and then I was drafted as a pitcher shortstop. And early on in my career, they thought that because of my growth, that I was better fit at third base. But Earl never forgot about that. So when I came to the big leagues, he really wanted to put me in as a shortstop. And I was game to give it a try, and it worked out.
Here comes the goober question. Just looking back at all the games that I went to as a fan, probably one of the best nights ever was when you guys came back in '88 from Chicago, and the stadium was filled, and you
Fantastic. Those were great memories.
You just lost.
Were you there?
Absolutely.
Cal, you were there, right?
That was Morgana's day, wasn't it?
That was the night Morgana came out.
Right?
Rasig bailed her out of jail that night. They didn't lock her up.
You hit a home run down the right field line in that game.
You feel guilty about that they locked Morgana up? Were you weirded out? I mean, give me Morgana's story.
I mean,
you didn't know.
I had no idea.
See, I
That was
knew.
my question. I was going to say, did you know she was coming out?
I absolutely knew it was going to happen that afternoon.
I had no idea, and coming back, I mean, it's bittersweet in a way. I mean, you lose 21 games, and you come home in a sort of a celebration sort of mode. And, I think it was a great outpouring of love from the city of Baltimore because it really showed how they feel about their O's. And but from the same time, from a professional pride standpoint, you said, we're getting attention for all the wrong reasons. And certainly Morgana coming out to add a different level of celebration. One side says you kind of arrived, that if you're a target for Morgana, then you must be also...
She didn't want to kiss us.
Her caliber. And then I didn't know how to react to it because now you're whatever you do, you're going to be on TV and people are watching you. So I just thought it was just, let's let it happen.
Take the high road.
And get it over with.
Did a wife give you a hard time when you got home?
No,